It's the week of September 28, 2021. My name is Kendall.
And I am Mika. Welcome to your first TNN of the school year.
Our first story today takes us over to Japan for a new world record. Imagine having a twin brother or sister. There are a few people that don't have to imagine because they do have a twin. But for most of us, we have to imagine what it would be like. Now, imagine knowing your twin for 107 years. That is exactly what has happened to Yumeno and Kume. In Japan, they were born on November 5th, 1913. As of last week, are officially the oldest living identical twins on record. They received their certificates of Guinness from Guinness World Records by mail due to COVID, but have been joking together about one day obtaining this record for the last 8 years.
If you've ever been to Westgate Entertainment Center in Glendale, you probably know it's located right next to two big sports facilities, one being the Cardinals Stadium and the other being the Gila River Arena, where the Coyotes have played hockey for the past 18 years. This is the last year that the Coyotes will be playing there. The city of Glendale has terminated their lease, while there are a lot of questions remaining about where they will play in the near future. They did make a big announcement last week about where they wanted to be in the long term. They made a bid on $1.7 billion entertainment district in Tempe, where they would like to make a reality. It would include many restaurants and hotels right in the heart of Tempe. It'll take some time to see if it can become a reality, but it looks really nice from the drawings. Now let's go over to Miss Giacovelli with the week.
Good morning, Tartesso parents, staff, community members, and students. This is the week of September 28th, and we have several things going on this week. You should be receiving, if you haven't already, an invitation from your child's teacher to sign up for a parent-teacher conference. Those conferences will be virtual, and they will be the week of October 5th. We will have early release days on October 6th and 7th, and teachers will be conducting conferences that week. And then we also do not have school on Friday, October 8th. So please make sure you're signing up for one of those conferences. We're asking that teachers conference with every parent from their homeroom class in October. And then in March, if your students are doing really well, have all A's and B's and no behavior concerns, then you can waive that conference. On Tuesday this week, we do have our food truck night at Tartesso, and that's from 5 to 8 p.m. in our parking lot. If you could please make sure you're parking away from the bus loop so it doesn't block any of our vendors, that would be wonderful, and we really appreciate your support. And we also will be having a virtual music concert for all K through 2. And Mr. McBreen will be recording just the classes that he has been seeing this quarter. So it's just one class from kinder, first, and second. And then we will share those recordings with you. There was a flyer sent home about what your children are supposed to wear. So if you're not sure, please ask your child's teacher if they have music this quarter. We will have cake pops sold Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday next week, per usual, and we will have Kona Ice on campus on Thursday. I'm very excited to announce our Students of the Month for September. Excuse me. Okay, just a little emergency practice. Okay, so Students of the Month for September from Mrs. Hammond's class, Ellie Rodriguez. From Mrs. Coleman's class, Aspen Williams. From Mrs. Nelson's class, Ivy Joas. From Mrs. Sandoval's class, Aaliyah Lopez. From Mrs. Bruner's class, Jalen Tolbert Jr. From Miss Isbell's class, Jack Texera. From Mrs. Rainey's class, Nyla Brito. From Mr. Rudy's class, Vita Mia Ruiz. From Miss Tracer's class, Joshua Camarina. From Mrs. Schmidt's class, Ethan Haynes. From Mrs. Kaler's class, Reyes Hernandez. From Mrs. Carrillo's class, Emily Gutierrez. From Mrs. Embring's class, Malia Penton. From Mrs. Huggins' class, Charlotte Lewis. From Mrs. Welsh's class, Gavin Gaddis. From Mrs. Rum's class, Avery King. From Mrs. McDonald's class, Jesus Esper. From Mrs. De La Cruz, Elena Saucedo. From Mrs. Cobbins, Isabel Chinchilla. From Mrs. Denny's, Connor Wittes. From Mrs. Shields, Isabella Hernandez. From Mrs. Marshall, Charlie Fitzhugh. From Mrs. Hudson, Elijah Stoudemire. From Mr. Pancos, Braden Kurtz. From Mrs. Riles, Mateo Murillo. From Mrs. Gadcurries, Juan Pinellas. From Mrs. Warren, Analia Colon. From Mrs. Williams, Daniel Negretti. From Mrs. Martinez, Zoe Sterling. From Mrs. Schaefer's, Jocelyn Isaacson. From Ms. Pearson's, Ryan Shenrawi. From Mrs. Weston's, Andrew Peralta. And our employees of the month, for our certified teacher, it is Mr. Rudy. And our classified employee is Miss Rachel in the office. Thank you so much for being so supportive and understanding as we start this school year. We've had a lot of challenges with our rapid growth at Tartesso, so we really appreciate all of the help and support that we have received from parents and staff members this year. So let's have a fantastic week.
Thank you, Ms. Gibelli, for the weekly update. Now let's head over to Miss Williams with the Counseling Corner.
Hello, Saddle Mountain. This is Mrs. Williams from the Counseling Corner. This month, we are going to take time to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. I have on my phenomenally Latina shirt to represent as well. I am the first Black Latina counselor to work for Tartesso and Winters Mall. I'm so proud. Now, let's shine the spotlight on Ellen Ochoa, who made her mark as the first Hispanic woman to go to space with a 9-day mission. Wow, 9 days. Now let's recognize Xavier Becerra. Xavier happens to be my son's name as well. The 33rd Attorney General of California. Wow, that's pretty amazing. He's an attorney. That just tells us that we can be anything that we want to be if we set our minds to it and if we stay in school and we work hard. All right. I hope we're all being safe, staying healthy, and being the best that we can be. Remember, all children are capable of success, no exceptions.
Thank you, Miss Williams. Now here's Austin with sports.
Welcome to sports. My name is Austin. It has been a while since we have been in your classroom, so let's catch up. Over the summer, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the second Stanley Cup in 2 years, beating the Montreal Canadiens. In basketball news, the Phoenix Suns lost a great series to the Milwaukee Bucks, 4-2. The Diamondbacks are just about finished with their season. We won't mention their record, but it isn't good. The Cardinals are back with a few new players like J.J. Watt and are off to a great start with a record of 2-0. After a real close game against the Vikings, that is all for today. See you next time on Sports News. Thank you, Austin. Now let's go over to Mateo with entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. I am Mateo. It is almost October, and you know what that means. Let the fall fun begin. All over Phoenix area, where we are starting to see haunted houses and pumpkin patches appear for most of them. It will be the first time being open to the public since 2019 due to COVID restrictions and precautions. You can find haunted houses like Fear Farm, the 13th floor, and Terror Nights. If that's a little too scary, maybe you can try a haunted corn maze like the Field of Screams in Glendale. Remember, most of these places ask you to wear a mask, regardless of your vaccination status. So be sure to check with their website for the rules, times, and prices. See you next time with more entertainment news.
Thank you, Mateo. Now here's Halen and Alexis with Joke of the Week.
Hello and welcome to Joke of the Week. My name is Alexis.
And I am Halen. Today's joke is, why is Cinderella so bad at playing football?
I don't know, why is Cinderella so bad at playing football?
Because she always runs away from the ball.
Great joke, Halen. If you have a joke and would like to tell it on the news, please go to smsd.me/beyondthenews and we would love to have you on.
See you next time on Joke of the Week.
Thanks, girls. Let's go over to Gabriel with fun fact trivia.
Welcome to Fun Fact Trivia. My name is Gabriel. Did you know that September 28th is National Strawberry Cream Pie Day? Strawberry lovers get to celebrate this day by eating their favorite fruit in the form of a sweet, fluffy pie. Did you know that the modern garden strawberry wasn't created until the mid-1700s? Also, strawberries are not technically berries at all. To be a berry, the seeds need to be on the inside. Like a banana? Yes, bananas are actually a berry. Your question today is about how many pounds of strawberries are grown worldwide each year. A, 10 million pounds. B, 1 billion pounds. Or C, 10 billion pounds. You have 10 seconds to make your decision. If you said C, 10 billion pounds of strawberries, you are correct. That's enough strawberries for each person on Earth to get 1.5 pounds of strawberries. See you next week on Fun Fact Trivia.
Thanks, Gabriel. Now let's go back to Austin with This Week in History.
Welcome to This Week in History. My name is Austin. On this day, September 28th, 1928, penicillium was discovered by a young bacteriologist named Sir Alexander Fleming. It was an accidental discovery that led to one of the great developments of modern medicine. Having left a plate of Staphylococcus bacteria uncovered, Fleming noticed that a mold had fallen onto the culture had killed many of the bacteria. He identified the mold as Penicillium notatum, similar to the kind of found on bread. In 1929, Fleming introduced his mold byproduct called penicillin to cure bacterial infections. Penicillium was gone on to save many lives and cure many illnesses. That is all for This Week in History.
Thanks, Austin. Now let's go over to Science Time with Halen and Alexis. Welcome to Science Time. My name is Alexis.
And I am Halen. Scientists are working on a rechargeable, glow-in-the-dark plant life that could one day replace some of the inefficient energy-intensive electric lights that we currently rely on for modern-day living. Scientists from the MIT are using a technology called nanobionics to embed nanoparticles that sit near the surface of leaves. A charge from an LED light lasting 10 seconds is enough for the plant to glow brightly for several minutes, and the nanoparticles can then be repeatedly recharged.
At the core of the glowing plants are capacitors that can store light in the form of photons, then release them over time. Scientists were able to make five different plants glow so far, but it's a bright innovation to keep an eye on the future, which could one day literally change the way we see things. See you next time with more Science Time.
Girls, now let's go over to Islana with Word of the Week.
Welcome to Word of the Week. My name is Islana. This week's word is coincide. Coincide is a verb, and it means to happen near or at the same time. Here's how you can use it in a sentence. I scheduled my knee surgery to coincide with our spring break, so I would have more time to heal. This is all for Word of the Week. See you next time.
Thank you, Islana. Now, that's all for this episode of TNN.
See you next week. Bye.